Welcome back to Glow Up or Get Out. I'm half of the podcast, Mel.
And I'm the other half, Sam.
Hey, we're back. Welcome to our 100th episode.
Yeah.
This is like 2 years or 3 years later now.
Yeah, 2020.
Wow.
We started.
If you guys have been listening since the beginning, thank you for being here. It's literally such a pleasure to like sit down and just like shoot the shit about any topic that we talk about.
Have all of our business and thoughts and
Yeah.
feelings and beliefs on the internet.
Very, I would say, brave thing to do for us. But if you've been
Yeah.
listening and you enjoy it, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Today's episode is celebratory.
It's, yeah. It's celebrating the phase of life that number one is trending.
It's trending. I think also like we definitely like relate heavily to it, considering like if you've been here, like I said, all of the ups and downs of our emotional state and all of like the blockages we felt in the last couple of years. I think like this kind of topic really rounds out what
The 2 years
the
of
2
this
years of this
podcasting has
podcast.
been.
Yeah.
Which we will be answering questions in Glowing Hour as well.
Yes.
That some of you have asked. So you'll get to know us a little bit more, hopefully. And yeah, just like we don't have a drink yet, but cheers to living this dream that we live every day and continuing to get to podcast together.
Yep.
And with you guys, we really do appreciate it.
So let's just get into the topic. So today we're going to be talking about being in your soft girl era.
Yep.
What the fuck does that mean, you know?
Yeah, Mel brought it up and I was like, what is that?
So our friend Erica, who's also been on the podcast, go listen to her episode. She brought up the topic, I think, obviously because it's trending, but also it's really like meaning a lot for a lot of people right now. And we'll get into, I guess, why. But like in general, it's just really talking about like getting into your femininity and your feminine energy, which can be difficult considering some trauma, some controlling aspects of what we like
personalities.
Endure. And so yeah,
I think it's definitely a balance between the masculine and the feminine, which we talk a lot about on different topics, which going into this podcast, I don't think we ever thought we were gonna like, not that we never thought we would talk about personal things, but like no matter what, I feel like a lot of our episodes are talking about balancing the feminine energy and the masculine energy, whether it be through friendships, personally, or anything else, work, you know, anything. And it's kind of crazy that it's all led up to this.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
The soft girl era. So I guess, yeah, just leaning into your femininity, which I guess the flip side of that is it's not really an era.
Let's discuss what the hard girl era is, I guess.
Okay.
You know,
that would be the exact opposite.
I think it's just like we societally, maybe like 10 years ago, I'm gonna say a decade, I don't know,
Can't know for sure. We were young.
We were pretty young. I think this was more of like a millennial thing,
doing girl boss
things. Yeah, girl bossing and like becoming
like,
like,
need a man. Divorce rates were high,
independent, and like there's nothing wrong with that, but I think there was like a sudden shift to such masculine energy of like, it's almost like over independence, where you're like shutting yourself off from feeling anything, really, like all of the soft intricate things about you, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and like open and you know, feeling all of the like the nuances in your life.
I feel like it was, obviously we were young, so we weren't necessarily living that dream until it was like college time, but it was widely like frowned upon to be a stay-at-home mom, or like, not in terms of like people literally were like, fuck you for being a stay-at-home mom, but just being like, oh, you don't have a job, like you let your husband do all that or whatever. And
we definitely went into like,
you don't own your own company.
It's like, oh, you're not a dual income household, like you don't, like, it was just so heavily stressed that like if you really just took on the gender role of like being just a mother, a
feminine
wife,
role,
or like
yeah.
a feminine role, that you weren't powerful, you weren't strong, you weren't all of these things. But now that like we've done such an extreme polarized opposite of like what that was, now like we're on the other end, we're no longer in trying to heal ourselves, and we're becoming like over controlling and creating a lot of walls.
Well, it's
really
just all the things that's wrong with men and their masculine energy
Yeah.
is now being like transferred to women as well, which is, you know, we'll talk, I guess, a little bit about that, but
So like
yeah.
what would you say are like some of the like masculine like qualities that are like almost toxic, like toxic? There's literally toxic masculinity in women right now.
Yeah. I think control and power are like the big like pillars. So like in control being like just like how men are like, you can't do that. Like women to boyfriends or husbands are like, you can't be doing that. Like very much like assertive and not in a healthy way. Like just in a very much like, no, because I'm the woman and I make the rules. Or like power if they make more money because they girl bossed their way up to the top. And like just frowning on women who have kids and kind of went down that path. It's also just like not even in like a knowledgeable way where they're like, fuck women who just stay at home, blah, blah, whatever. But even just like working so fucking hard that they don't make time for themselves, one.
To like nurture themselves.
Yes. And thus nurture anyone around them. So like working too hard, overworking, just to say that they fucking did it, I guess.
Yeah. I think there's also like a different side of like that aspect where like women, or like we were just forced to like believe that like we didn't need men, but in saying that like we didn't need our femininity to ever show, because I think that also like created this space of women like almost being part of the boys club.
Was it like replacing men with themselves?
Yeah,
like,
it's like
I don't need a
replacing
man.
that.
I am.
It's like I'm gonna join them if I can't
beat them.
If I can't beat them, yeah, you know. So then women started to just embody what these masculine traits
if
were.
you can't join, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I think there's a lot of women out there who are just very much like, yeah, I don't care about any of that. And it's like, do you not actually care about feminine things, or do you just like?
I think
not to
like
go into pick me girls, but
pick me girl era,
pick me girl era. I don't know. It's hard because
it's almost like that's like the extreme of like the girl boss, you know, like the pick me, that you've become so independent, not even just like independent, but like you literally embodied what a man wants.
A strong, confident, independent woman.
But like to an extreme where like, but then you know that's interesting is that like I find it that like that actually repulsed men
before.
Like it repulsed men from then liking women like this. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because it would be interesting to hear from a man. Like, I think men do like it when women have opinions and feelings, but some men say that and then they find a woman who actually has opinions and feelings. And it's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it became like repulsive almost to the extreme.
Yeah.
Not that you should cater to whatever the fuck men want, but I'm just saying like I think it became, I don't know.
It's just interesting to correlate like the switch based on what men wanted.
Right.
Yeah, I think like girl bossing is like stereotypically masculine roles. So like being the breadwinner of the household or whatever, sleeping around, not needing a partner, just like doing shit on your own, I guess. I don't really know what else. Eating bad.
Eating bad. Just being like heavily involved in like work.
I think like also the hard girl era was very much the emotional aspect. Like not being in touch with your emotions and just being like a bitch.
Yeah.
And just being like, well, it's a bitch because you're a woman. Cold. But yeah, just kind of not interested in
like I said earlier, like creating walls just to it was a defensive mechanism for sure, but like
we all fall to that too, because like especially if you work in corporate America, it's like
then you can't beat them, join them.
You have to be a hard girl to level up in some cases.
Well, I feel like that's exactly what we were taught for the last like at least 15 years, that you need to become this person in order to
be respected.
Respected and successful.
Yeah.
But I think like everyone's now switching into like calling it a soft girl era, because it's like I'm still taking the masculinity that I learned and like, but now I'm utilizing it and balancing it with my femininity and creating a very balanced femme person, you know what I mean?
So let's talk about soft girl specifically then, since we addressed hard girl. So on the opposite spectrum, stereotypically feminine roles like being a mom, being good at baking or cooking or cleaning, liking, like enjoying makeup and beauty and fashion, speaking quietly. Like what else?
Yeah,
I think that just like rounds it up.
I feel like that's a good roundup. So like I think to like put it not so like stereotypically, I think that the soft girl era is more so about literally just allowing peace within yourself versus like trying so hard to control and create things to like become the way that you want them to. And I think it obviously goes hand in hand with like this whole manifestation era that everyone's going through in spirituality.
Yeah.
Like everyone's trying to become softer and soften like their hearts, like they're trying to open up more and allow those feelings to exist. Think about like the stereotypical like woman in movies who like cries and like is so needy, and like take that more so make it like a person who is like emotionally just intelligent and can execute those emotions and be vulnerable. Like I think that's
like healthily communicate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What a lot of like women are talking about like online is like letting go of like their hyper independence, which we spoke slightly on, but more so like I find that I'm like seeing a lot of women talk about how they have proudly obviously created like a life for themselves, but it's to a point where like
they didn't let anyone else in.
Now like it'd be nice for a man or a person to take care of them. Like this woman was like, I don't want to fucking get my car washed every week. Like if somebody could just come into my life and like be gladly take that from me, like that'd be great. But she would like recognize that how
like there's a desire for it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because it was before like, no, I don't need a man.
I can do it. Like I can do everything for myself. Yeah, so that's part of it. And then like I said, just letting yourself being taken care of in a way that, again, like just small things of allowing somebody to hold space for you, even that. Like I think women didn't allow themselves to do any of that.
Well, to be fair, men kind of suck at it, but...
Yeah, but maybe they're also growing now and we're getting to a place where it's like, all right, everyone can just join in and help each other, you know?
I think so, honestly.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
There was this, how do we describe this?
Tweet?
This tweet. Was it a tweet?
I think it was a tweet.
This woman was like, I just want to be in my soft girl era, and she like listed all these things of like losing my hyper independence, blah blah blah, like we just named. And that thing, she's like, I want to be putting Tide Pods in glass jars and like hanging out at home.
Yeah, literally.
And that's like what we're talking about, like the stereotypical like staying at home mom who just like cleans and cooks and like, you know.
Yeah, and there's like nothing's wrong with that.
That sounds like okay, like I said,
come on, it sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, we all fucking went through this phase of like, I need to be my own
boss of my life, of my money, of my everything.
Which fine, great, but like, don't we all kind of just want to rest sometimes? Like, I'm fucking tired, you know?
Like, I think, yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about balance, and that's exactly what we preach on this podcast. So I think soft girl era could consider, like, it could be the balance, but in general, balancing between the two extremes is obviously the ideal. So like, if you want to have a full-time job, fuck yeah, and then you want to have kids and have time for them and let your partner also take care of you and listen to your emotions and needs, perfect. Like, whatever balance looks like for you, there it is. Do it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be masculine to have strength. I think that's, or you don't, not that, I mean, masculine energy is powerful and strong, I guess, but like, you don't have to lean so fucking far into it that you're like just that.
Exactly. Yeah. In some more like specific ways to do it that I've seen, I feel like a lot of women can maybe like hear this and be like, okay, I'm not about to just like let a man take literally charge of my life. I don't want to be maybe a stay-at-home mom or whatever the fuck.
Like, doesn't resonate.
It doesn't need to be that extreme. Yeah. Honestly, like, you don't even need to be with anybody to be like in your soft girl era.
Yeah.
It's more so just like taking care of yourself. Like, you can still do independent things, like take yourself on a date, but like make sure you're taking yourself out to like better help you open up your heart, allowing yourself to be more vulnerable and emotional, and whatever that looks like for you, like you can do it. You don't need somebody else to necessarily do it, but it's just more so like the energy behind why you're wanting these things.
You could also very well already be in your soft girl era and have no idea. It's just a name, honestly. It's just a name. I feel like the self-care era, I don't know when she ended, but she kind of went out the window at some point. Not that everyone stopped doing it, but it wasn't as like, self-care, don't forget about your self-care. I feel like that era kind of drifted us into this. Like, I know how to take care of myself now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's just an interesting discussion, like, aside from being like, I need to change something now about myself or whatever. I feel like it's not even about that. Like, it's just acknowledging in this moment for whoever you are that, like, you know what, I have leaned into my femininity, or you know what, I could lean in a little bit more. It's just a check-in. Honestly, it's not like, oh, well, now I need to like change my lifestyle to be in this era, because that's how shit doesn't last. Like, that's how you create these like concepts in your head that you need to follow every trend that's going on. But rather, you should just take what you like. What is it when they do like readings and it's like, take what resonates, leave what doesn't? Same shit. Like, just anything you hear online, don't take it too serious, and just be like, you know what, I should do this, or you know what, I am proud of myself for already doing that, or whatever. It's a check.
I think just one more thing that I want to more so like bring up is like, I genuinely think that like it sounds easier said than done, but I definitely could admit that like being softer is like something that not scares me, but it just makes me feel sometimes uncomfortable, because I feel like we've done so much work into getting power and like recognition and encouragement to live as independent beings, like away from men, and it's hard to let go of that stuff. So on the surface level, there's so many things that we're talking about, but just like emotionally, it's difficult to open up and allow yourself to really embody like the femininity. Like, it's okay to like all of the stereotypical things and like enjoy them, but I can see how it does feel hard to let that side of you in sometimes, if you've built upon so much of, I don't give a shit about anybody but me fucking getting in my bag, you know. So
I agree. I think it is like a mental hurdle that we have to come over, because people judge, man. People always got something to say. So if you're suddenly giving soft girl energy and people want to step all over you because suddenly you're not taking up as much space to them, just gotta like step back into the masculine for a second and be assertive, but in a feminine way, I guess.
Like that, there's like that TikTok of the, what does it say? Like, there's like woman's like,
you don't have to scream and cuss.
One will suffice.
Yeah.
And so then she just like lowers her voice and is still fucking cussing.
Why the fuck would you do that? Like,
yeah.
It's just,
and that's feminine. Facts. Just like, it's like, honestly, I think also let's talk about how like being too much in your masculine, as like they like to say, like in your masculine bag, you have less control as you try to fucking control so much. Like, we talk about this concept a lot of like, if you really try to grab a hold and control something, it's gonna more likely like not happen for you. Yeah. So if you're just take a step back and like come at it in a different form where you're like, I'm fucking open to whatever the fuck is about to happen. I don't know. Just again, like, I think being more controlling, just you'll never get the outcome you want. So it's like finding the balance,
controlling other people, just controlling yourself.
Yeah, like take a step back and reflect
how I respond to this.
Yeah,
just like there's so much, like it's vague and then it's specific and then it's like, do this, but then like that's kind of how the self-care era was too. Like, it was very much like people taking self-care and being like, all you need to do is take baths and
or like
light a candle, or and it's just like, there's no clear instructions on how to live life. There just isn't. So like, it's hard to talk about, I guess, a vague concept, because like listening to in my feminine era or my soft girl era, like, what changes am I actually gonna make, if any? You know what I mean? So I feel like vague concepts like that are hard for me personally to like digest. and then like do something about it. I feel like it's more so like I just become aware. And then once I'm aware, slowly things, you know.
I think the word like era, it doesn't necessarily mean shit. I think like it's just more so, I think it's just like a joke now where like you like, it's when you switch, like when you're having the turnover of like your journey moving to something else. Like I think everyone's just talking about it being like a masculine bag era, and then now coming into like, I understand that was not healthy for me, and I need to find a balance between the thing that makes me feel independent and what makes me feel taken care of. So like that's more so the concept. Like I think we should just like forget about the word like era, because it's not like just a time and place and then you're gonna go back to your masculine bag. It's just more so like we're learning that this isn't working for us, and as women, as females, like we're just all needing to get into our femininity and not be fucking ashamed of it, because I feel like we have been so ashamed and shameful towards each other about it.
I think especially like generations above us. It's like
it's like the generations above, it's really only, I feel like, millennials, like the one above us.
You think two? I think two, maybe, like our parents.
Yeah, maybe.
But maybe it's like both like genders. It was that way.
Yeah.
What was that?
I was just thinking, because then I was also thinking about how like the generation before that was almost giving us like the polar opposite of like just being in your feminine bag,
just being the housewife.
Yeah, so it's like we're really coming to the middle ground here, and like learning more about that.
I hope we're at the final destination.
Yeah,
but who knows? Maybe we'll be like, yeah, that didn't work either.
True.
Who knows?
Who fucking knows? Well, if you're struggling to be in your soft girl era, just take this moment and like
do something femme.
Do something femme here.
Go paint your nails. Go get your nails did. Go.
Just like whatever makes you feel taken care of.
Go cry with your bestie. I don't know. Anything. Be vulnerable. Do it.
I think we all have a lot to learn about just fully embodying what femininity means. You know, because it's a mixed bag. But I think that's it for this.
That kind of wraps up our very confusing, maybe informative take on soft girl era.
I feel like this is probably gonna be one of those topics that like goes into other topics.
Like it'll just evolve.
It's just gonna evolve, but more so we just wanted to bring it up because I think it really encompassed what like this podcast has become. Just not
I mean, it started,
it really if you think about it though, like our podcast has become like just like this soft girl era, because like we're always talking about like the betterment of ourselves, talking about like vulnerability and vulnerable things, finding like out what it means to be masculine or feminine, and just like all of the little nuances of what makes us as women. So like I mean, definitely we started in a different way where it was like, I mean, we came in guns blazes, let's be real.
First episode was Metamorphosis. Girl, if I knew what that episode was about. What was that episode about?
It was about...
I mean, I knew the general...
About growth. About, like, coming
to But was it about us? Like, were we saying we've grown so much? Or what?
Yeah, I think so.
We should listen to it again, because the quality probably is
The quality is probably awful.
But yeah, we did start, like, IG tips. Starting a business.
We were in our masculine bag.
Dude, we were trying to come through for the masculine energy. And then we were like, let's talk about things we like surgery, pop culture, our lives.
Yeah. So it really encompasses what we're coming into our soft girl era as well as.
See, like, I'm not even trying. The world is just pushing us.
It's just pushing me, dude.
In that direction.
I'm in my soft girl ballet era right now.
Yeah, she's in ballet too.
And I'm honestly like really enjoying the color pink lately.
Oh, her favorite color is green. Is she gonna change it?
Maybe I'll just be a pink and green girl.
Kind of cute. What does that remind me of? Like gum?
Gum?
Minty bubblegum?
It reminds me of that brand. Was it Bobby Jack?
Yeah. Was it Bobby Jack?
I think so. I think I used to have like a pink and green.
You think it was Bobby Jack that did that? Because it was like Bobby Jack, Lisa Frank, and Paul Frank.
Oh, Paul Frank. But Paul Frank was more like older kids, right? Bobby Jack is more
I don't remember. Kid. I think it was more kid because it was like it was also like the knockoff. Like it was.
Yeah.
It was like
JCPenney vibes.
I don't even remember. I had both. So. I think. I don't know.
So, anyway, we are gonna now move into our glowing hour. Just stick around. And we're back. So we have today a orange vanilla tequila spritzer. Is that what we're gonna call it?
Something like that.
I don't know. Tune into our
Reels
to find out what we call it. But it just felt like a celebratory drink. I feel like orange, like the flavoring or like the scent, is just so like
uplifting.
Mm-hmm. So it tastes fucking good.
We're like baristas. We're like bartenders now. 100 episodes later. Anyways, this is delicious, and you guys should.
You should really try this one.
So we got a few questions. I guess let's just get into what's they on. First one. What are deal breakers for a partner? We've definitely talked about deal breakers in an episode. Or maybe we've only talked about red flags.
I think we've only talked about red flags.
Okay. Deal breaker. Cheating. I think smoking cigarettes is a deal breaker for me as well. Just no. No. Not gonna do that.
Yeah, I think cheating is a big one. But I also...
Don't.
I don't know.
Are you gonna support the cheaters right now?
I'm not supporting y'all.
Okay.
But I do think that, like, there's room for growth.
If they cheated on you, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, I don't... I think it's just because I'm thinking about my current situation. Like, I think
you're like, I wouldn't just leave you.
I think there like would be something very wrong emotionally within themselves.
Yeah, you love Logan a lot.
I do.
You love that girl. Logan, this is not a free pass.
I just feel like it's usually like emotional, like inner turmoil as to why people do it. Sometimes not, but like.
Okay, I hear you out. I'm hearing you out right now.
So that's...
I think I would
also...
I'm British. Yeah, I'm hearing you out. I think if I loved the person enough and, you know, we had that level of respect, do we though? For one another, if you cheated, do we though? I don't know. I think, yeah, it's not as easy to just, like, break up. It's, like, it's different. Like, you have kids, you marry. There's, like, a lot...
There's a lot going on.
...to consider. But in general... cheating is a deal breaker.
Yeah, I agree. I think it depends on like why it's happening.
Right. The smoking cigarettes is just like
more so preference for you. I think.
It's like a what do you mean preference? Like they could.
Like what if they like in my again? This is like very personal.
You said once in a while.
My like Logan, she smoked cigarettes when we were first like dating.
Oh my god, I would have smacked the fuck out of Logan.
Well, she was doing a Juul. So it's like different.
Okay.
And then I remember when we were like having like a turmoil situation and I went to go visit her, she like smoked a cigarette in front of me and I was like,
you wanted to fucking.
She just like felt, but again, it was like emotional turmoil for her. Like that's why she was smoking a cigarette. And I was just like,
no, okay, no, I think once in a while I'm not going to be like, we can never date. You know what I mean? I think that's a bit much. But like if you smoke cigarettes and you're like literally addicted to smoking cigarettes every single day.
Yeah. Then
that's a whole lifestyle commitment. My house is gonna smell like cigarettes. I'm gonna smell
everything. Yeah, I can't stand when people's cars smell like cigarettes. It's fucking gross to me.
It takes me to a place that I don't want to be.
Yeah.
Anyways, being
I think
an
for
asshole.
me, like, yeah. I mean, I was gonna say something similar, just like being like ignorant and very proud about you being ignorant. You know what I mean? Like just being, because I was gonna say something like Republican, but like I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah.
It's just more so like if you're being like transphobe, if you're hurting, if your values are hurting somebody else, that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. Different values.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think going with that is like closed-mindedness.
Yeah.
Because I think they are a little bit different just because I mean closed-minded in terms of like personal growth.
That too, yeah.
Like if you're closed off to like therapy in general, like I'm not saying like you need to be in therapy or else I won't date you. But if you're very much like, no, I'm good, I don't need therapy. I'm never going to need it. I'm strong.
Yeah.
It's like something's wrong there.
Something's up here.
It's not adding up, but it is. Like,
yeah,
that's a deal breaker, I think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. This is a deal breaker
for you under 6 feet.
Yup. Like honestly, under 6'2".
Fair enough, though. Fair enough.
I'm just sorry. That's a preference that I have.
No, you don't need to say sorry.
Don't apologize.
Don't apologize for that.
I'm like, well, if we're gonna get into physical deal breakers,
as Logan said yesterday, she was like, She's like, I no longer say I'm sorry at work. I say thank you for understanding. So you're like, thank you for understanding that I only date men above 6'2" because I am almost 6 feet. So thanks. So you don't have to say sorry.
Period.
Anyway.
Are there any physical
Deal breakers?
deal breakers for you?
Well, yeah, like I don't want like a short person. Like even I think if I was if I was in the dating game again and I was dating a woman, I don't know that I would want a shorter woman. Like I like feeling dainty and small.
Yeah.
Even though like I think sometimes I take a very masculine role in my relationship because Logan is so like feminine in like emotional state kind of a way.
It's funny. I think you guys are like the perfect balance within yourselves. Of
Yeah.
masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
Like she's
So
pretty...
we're both in the middle, but
Yeah.
like we both like lean on some other side a little bit. So like I need to feel at least physically small.
Not that Logan's big, guys. That's not what we're saying.
She's taller than me. That's
she's
what
just
it is.
taller.
Also, that bitch grew another inch lately.
She's just telling you that. So she's taller than me.
No, dude, she's straight up 5'10" now.
Damn, you just put out her height. I thought she was 5'10".
No, she was 5'9" and like a half, but she grew a whole ass inch.
So she's almost as tall as me.
Yeah, dude. Like, how do I grow an inch?
You want to grow an inch?
Yeah, my
Why?
ideal height is 5'9" or 5. Yeah, 5'9".
You're 5'8"?
I'm 5'8".
I think you're tall. But then, to be fair, when girls in high school would be like, I'm tall. I'm like, how tall are you? They're like 5'8". I was like, mostly because I was just annoyed that they're like, yeah, I like so hard to find.
Bitch, you are above like you're above.
I'm like
normality.
tall. I'm like that's why I'm like I get to say I'm tall. You can say I'm slightly taller than most women.
I don't know, man. I think you're like I don't want to
think I'm
roast
just
you.
above averagely tall.
I think yeah.
Well, I mean I am. But
I think like there's average, which is like what 5, probably 6,
6.
5'5" maybe.
Yeah.
And then there's like tall women, which is like 5'8" to 5'10" probably. And then there's probably like giant bitches like you. Like y'all are just a fucking gazelle out here or a fucking giraffe. You know what I mean?
Probably more like a giraffe.
Yeah, I'm more of like a gazelle. You're like a giraffe.
Yeah, I'm giving more clumsy.
Not the clumsy part. I was just talking about height, girl.
I know, but I'm clumsy like a giraffe.
Giving neck. Anyway,
this
I don't took know. A weird turn.
I don't know
Anyway,
if there's any other physical deal breakers. I mean, like I'm personally not into body hair.
Oh, see, like in men, I cannot with like chest and back hair. Like some men just like have that.
Like a little bit is okay.
It's okay.
A little bit is okay.
I just don't want like
full forest. Oh, I can't even think about it. Nope, never even been there. Not ever gonna
like,
go
I don't
there.
want to go like this and like have
Nope. We're not going there.
Hair like everywhere else is fine. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was thinking in my head, like, what does she mean by that?
What do you
like,
mean?
wait, okay.
Other deal breakers physically. That's it, really. Just be taller than me and don't be overly hairy. Like you be hairy, but not like overly hairy. Above average hairy.
Oh my god. I think everything else is just preference.
Yeah.
Like wouldn't necessarily be a deal breaker. But apparently I'm into newly found obsession is curly brown hair.
Cute.
I don't
also,
know.
your new attraction apparently is military men.
Apparently that's what I'm bringing in.
Yeah. That's the energy, the soft girl energy you're exuding.
No, I'm like, make me a wife.
Make me a, what do they call it? Like a base wife?
A military mommy.
Dude. In your military bag.
Getting married for a house.
Hey,
don't put me past it. Okay, anyways. Okay, this one. Have you ever gotten in an argument between you two, and how did you solve it? I don't think we've ever been in like a full-blown argument.
No, I think we've had like tiffs
or like disagreements.
But
I think maybe they would have turned into arguments if we were in like our toxic girl era or something. I don't know. But honestly, we don't really fight or argue or disagree on anything that's like really pivotal enough to be like mad at each other for.
Yeah, it's nothing that's like actually important. Yeah, it's more so like there's like some drama, and then we're like, no, we have different opinions on that, you know, like something like that.
How do we solve it?
How do we solve our disagreements? I think we just agree to disagree, or like we tend to find like that we both agree with what we're saying, you know what I mean?
Like we're both just like, I
hear
agree
you.
with that.
Let's do that. Yeah.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I think we're just good at communicating it with each other. Like, we take a step back and we're like, you know what, I do see your perspective.
Because, you know, honestly, like, I think at the end of the day, like, it's not even that fucking big of a deal. Also, like, for me, like, things that I tell myself are like, just don't fucking take this personal. Like, why are you taking it so personal? And then I make myself kind of like feel dumb, and I'm like, oh, you're so
Not
silly.
making yourself
like
feel
in a
dumb.
like in a good way though.
Like, oh, she's just silly right now.
Like, why are you being silly, dude?
Yeah,
for it.
I think at the
It's
end of
not a
the
big
day,
deal.
anything, well, not everything that we disagree on, because some things are just like vague concepts or whatever, but like at the end of the day, we just have the same goal in mind. Of
Yeah.
Just like, one, maybe understanding someone's perspective, or two, making money.
Making money.
Making money, hustling,
Facts,
baby. Okay, next. This one's kind of confusing. Freshman year and sophomore year in high school, like, for you both.
Maybe like, what was it like for you both?
What a specific question.
Yeah,
They
this-
must be from this time period in our lives.
Hello, I probably know you from high school or something.
Hello, alumni.
Should we just go like each year and then
Yeah.
back and forth?
Okay, you go freshman.
Freshman year, I feel like I started high school like in the summer before freshman year. For me, like,
Oh yeah, me
that's
too.
when I like discovered like friends and like what the school was like. I think we were very similar, where we like liked to be over prepared, and also like
Yes.
like even in college we would go to the campus beforehand and like
find our
figure out where our
classes.
classes were. Like, that stuff is like helpful. So like I think doing summer school was very much like that energy.
It was like I was not needing summer school classes. I don't even think the class I took I needed.
Oh, really?
Like, I don't think it did anything for me. Like, I was
Yeah.
already gonna take that class next anyways.
Yeah. I did like a kind of in like preparatory work where like I did geometry, so I can just go in straight into like basically what I would
Pre-cal?
take my second year. I think it was just algebra 2.
Maybe I did that.
Maybe. It was, like, geometry. Also, like, geometry sounds like fucking horrendous to take it for a whole year. You know what I mean?
I did that. It sucked. I was
sounds
terrible
awful.
at geometry.
So I'm glad I did that. But anyway, in more of like an emotional sense, I guess,
I just always think about Victoria's little sister, Sophie, shout out. Her saying freshman year, she walked into campus for the first time. She's younger than us, so I wasn't there, but she walked into campus listening to 15 by Taylor Swift.
I love that song.
Almost shed a tear. I was like, that's beautiful, Sophie.
What a cutie. I love Sophie.
That was the emotional state of freshman year, probably. Like, she kind of encompasses it.
Yeah.
Like, the senior boy, we get you. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on. In terms of emotionally, I felt like I was excited, and I like elementary school I was with the same people for so long, and then middle school was so short, but I met some really great friends, and I was just excited to like move that friendship over to like high school.
You're new.
Yeah, it was just
exciting.
new, and I mean overall my freshman year was good. I involved myself in an activity, which was like color guard.
No ASB yet?
Not ASB yet. I was like really good at it too. I was like vibing. I was doing something that made me feel fulfilled. Met a lot of friends through that.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm very jealous of freshman year Mel. Like, she was just so hopeful, and like she was able to make friends like
Easily.
It was
What
just
makes
really
you jealous
interesting.
about that? Like,
Just I feel like
now?
it's just difficult as an adult. Maybe not for everybody, but I tend to find it difficult to connect with people sometimes, just because I feel like everyone's already in like their own spaces, and like life as an adult kind of feels like cliquey to me sometimes.
interesting, because that's like high school.
Yeah, it's high
stereotype.
school behavior. But like I feel like going into high school, I felt very welcomed in a lot of spaces.
I think everyone was just like, I want friends.
Yeah.
During, like, everyone was open. And like, being an adult, people have outside motivations.
Absolutely.
So in
Yeah.
high school, it's like not really as
Like
much.
the motivation is probably like just
something
to make more
to
friends.
do, popularity,
Yeah.
which like obviously still not great, but I see.
What would you say?
Freshman year, I feel like same. I went in already having like been there, and I met like these two kids who were from like LA, and they were just coming to summer school at my school because I don't know why. I don't know why the
What
fuck they
the
were there.
fuck?
But they were like, yeah, I went to acting school this summer, and like that's my school now. Like that's where I'm going. I was like, what? And I thought he was so hot. I was so obsessed with him and his friend. It was a girl, so like we were besties in that class. So I felt like confident, like I can make friends. I was like, I got this.
Yeah, I got this shit.
Which, like, I wasn't nobody from school. Like, during summer school, I don't remember if I, like, hung out with anyone
you knew already.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I'm sure Katie or something. Anyways, so I kind of had the lay of the land, but I was also still very, like, lost. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Because in middle school, I was not involved, like, at all. I just had friends, and, like, I almost tried out for dance. I almost tried out for volleyball. I almost did ASB. I was basically an ASB, but I wasn't. Like, I was too scared to put myself out there, I think that's what it was. Like, volleyball, I was scared to suck. Dance, I was scared to suck. ASB, I knew I had to give a speech and run, even if I was just going to be in ASB.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. It's so embarrassing. So I didn't do it. So I think going into high school, I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, I feel like I have to be involved in something. So I'm pretty sure a few of my friends were already going to be in things. Oh, I think that's what it was. Freshman year, I decided I wanted to be in Renaissance, which was like the same thing as ASB, which is leadership. It was another leadership program, but I didn't get accepted. I think my interview was probably really bad or something. So yeah, I didn't get accepted into Renaissance. I was really sad. So then from that point on, I begged the ASB advisor to let me into ASB, and he was just like so over my shit. But I'm telling you, persistence is key, because he let me in. And I had to change my schedule and everything. But I didn't get in. I think it was like sophomore year is when I was begging. Like the beginning of sophomore year or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I was just kind of like trying things. I tried water polo. Did that for a little bit. And then I quit. I was good though. It was like fun sometimes. Like I loved the good parts of it. Like being with the girlies. Like hanging out. Being in a bikini at school. Like I loved like the fun parts of it.
Yeah.
And then the 6 a.m. workouts, I was like,
I'm good on that.
So I said, huh? And I don't know. Yeah, I think I learned a lot about myself freshman year. Boys, wow. It was the older boys for me. Not too old. Not like
I carried
boys.
my crushes on from middle school into high school, unfortunately.
I mean, I did too a little. My brother, he was there. He was
the brothers.
He was right there with me.
God, dude.
Yeah.
I think freshman year was also the year that I got, like, I don't know if we told that story, but when I got stood up asking for some
that was freshman year?
That was freshman year. Fucking sad, huh? Fucking
as a freshman especially.
That was so embarrassing.
You said
that when somebody asked me what's my most embarrassing moment, I need to remember that's
it's
my
that
most
one.
Because I literally black it out a lot of the time.
That's sad. But like we're good now.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I want to like talk to like freshman year Mel and be like, you know what? You had a lot of guys who like were in love with you and you could give two shits about them. So
that one that was an idiot, he was an idiot.
I think later he was obsessed with me too. So it's like I get my revenge.
Just dumb.
You know?
Boys were just dumb.
Boys are dumb. Anyway.
So sophomore year.
Sophomore year, I was really into I was in my color guard bag. I was just like really trying to progress in that sport. I was like heavily in it.
Like practicing.
Yeah, like I liked the first year. The first year was so fun. I made a lot of friends. It was really like a good time. Like that team was such a small community at first. And then turmoil happened and drama or whatever. So then the second year was a little bit different. I started to like it less, and so I started to explore my options more, and that's when I looked into like dance. I thought about cheer. I did go to like the tryouts, I think the first day, and I was just like, I don't know if I really want to do this.
So this is a lot.
It sounded expensive to me, and I've always had like this weird guilt trip about like asking my parents for money. So yeah, dance was cheaper. Dance was way cheaper.
Just like less competition.
Yeah. It wasn't even a competition. Like it was a dance company. So we would have like basically like performances, like recitals. That was really it. I think now my high school does like dance competitions, which is cool. But yeah, that was my sophomore year. I had a lot more friends, and like a lot of them were like older kids, like seniors and juniors. I got heavily involved in drama also. I think in academically, like it was good. I was always like on top of my shit.
Yeah, I feel
like
like
a lot of AP courses.
Yeah, academically, just not much to say there.
No.
Well, yeah, I mean, geometry was my first C. My only C. Fuck geometry.
Fuck geometry, dude.
I'm always gonna have something against geometry for that.
Oh, I also the end of freshman year is when I got a boyfriend, like in the summer, basically. Like the end of like April, May. And then, yeah, sophomore year I had a boyfriend. We broke up junior year, so it's basically for a
Dang,
year.
she was booed up for a year.
I was booed up for all of sophomore year.
I was low-key a player freshman year, now that I'm thinking about it. I forgot about all that.
I thought I was. Actually, I was.
Yeah.
I was trying to ask somebody out, but somebody else, a fucking senior, was like obsessed with me, so.
You were in your bag.
I was in my bag.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad about these days. I don't know why, because I feel like I probably wasn't even doing anything bad. I just, looking back, I was probably trifling a little. Like, I was talking to, I think, 3 guys.
Oh.
I don't think it was at the same time. Like, looking back, the timeline's a little blurry. I don't think it was at the same time. It couldn't have been. Like, there's just no way I could have done all that. There really isn't.
Isn't it crazy how you like think you're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm now like a memory of me just talking to a guy from a different school who actually went to Jen's school.
Scandal.
Which I didn't know Jen at the time yet. But
Yeah.
he went to High Poly. Even then we became friends after, more like brotherly love after, but like that was it.
Not the brotherly love.
But that's so interesting.
Yeah, I don't, I'm sending love to those men. Because they are men now. I'm like, because they're men now and you guys are cute. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what either of them look like. I don't stay up to date. But I feel like they're maybe to each other. We were both very pivotal in like relationship growth. One of them was like obsessed with me.
It sounds so bad, but
like he wrote me a letter and then gave it to me, and he was sweating so much like the pencil rubbed off. You know what I mean?
Or maybe he was crying. Anyway.
Or he was crying. I don't know. But there was one of those, and then he gave me. I was kind of fucked up for that. We like weren't together anymore or something or whatever, and I wore like this shirt he gave me,
Bitch,
and like put it on Twitter.
You're messy.
And like it was a sweater Katie let me try on, like a little leather jacket, and I was like look at this new jacket Katie let me try on with his shirt under. Girl, please.
Messy.
And he liked it. I was like, he knows. Which is just so messy. And like there's times where I got caught up freshman year like being just stupid, like just a simp. But yeah, there was those 2 guys, and then the 3rd guy was an older guy, and he's the one that, you know, really fucked me up a little bit. At least at the time I thought he did, but
yeah,
looking back, whatever. But sophomore year, I feel like sophomore year I like more so solidified who I wanted to like hang out with, who my people were. Yeah, what I want to do, like part of ASB. I was kind of like finding my passion in leadership. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was great. Like friendships were good. It's like junior year where things really
took off. Me too, dude. Me too.
Like summer of sophomore year.
I will say those 2 years were very
Amazing.
pivotal though.
Yeah, lots of growth, lots of learning.
I also went to my first party.
Dude, the parties.
Freshman year.
Yeah.
My like one of my best friends at the time was a junior. And her and her family just always threw like razors like at the time.
family too.
Yeah, like her and her cousin.
Good.
Her cousin had the same birthday as me.
Nice.
And so like I remember my first party was like for like his birthday party, which was also my birthday, and it was just like interesting.
Dude.
And I don't remember if they also sang my name, but I just remember being there and like,
Were you drunk?
I didn't get drunk, but I had like my first like cactus cooler bomb. Like I think that's like the first time I actually like drank.
Yeah.
Because before I like had like a beer like in Mexico or whatever, but like that was like my first time like drinking and like taking shots and stuff.
Yeah, same. Like started drinking at like 14.
Yeah, same. 14. I actually turned 15, so like you know what I mean.
Technically.
But I was 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy. Yeah, Victoria would throw
Her ragers.
a lot of
I wish I went to one
kickbacks
of
freshman
those.
and sophomore. I know. God, those were the days. Those were the days. But yeah, discovered drinking. There was just a lot of discovery.
Just a lot of discovery at that time.
Boys, like, sorry, mom and dad, but the amount of boys I snuck into the house. Not amount of boys, but the amount of times I snuck a boy into the house.
I only snuck my boyfriend in, I think, at the time.
So sweet.
Later,
You were
things changed,
committed.
though. Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's enough tea on our trifling era. This one's funny. Why don't you have guests on the show?
Listen,
Felt like an attack.
we've had a couple guests, first of all.
Where were you?
We've had Logan on. We've had Erica on. We had one where we went to the girls at Genero Neutral with
Jen and Ashley.
Jen and Ashley.
We've had Mark on.
We've had Mark on. We've had a couple. We've had a few.
Yeah.
If we forgot anybody, I'm so sorry.
But like, who do you want?
Who do you
on
want
the
to
podcast?
see?
We would.
Or if you want to come on and you're the one asking, just hit us up.
We're
honestly.
open to it. It's mostly a logistical thing. Like, we only have 2 mics.
Yeah.
So we'd have to buy a 3rd mic or use our not as good quality.
And just be okay with the
Speaks.
sound
Yeah.
being a bit off. But
Which is why we need sponsors and likes and all those beautiful things. Because the more you do that, the more we can put into the podcast. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about having more guests. We just
yeah.
haven't.
Thanks for asking, though, because we definitely want to have that. And maybe now we'll prioritize that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What do you both do for a living?
Interesting question. I'm just kidding.
We co-own a lifestyle content agency. If you don't know, now you know. But it's Glow Getter Collective, if you haven't heard. But we talk about it all the time on our personal pages.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should talk about it more since you don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to be hyping it up more. But we basically do photography and videography content for brands.
For social media.
Yeah, so Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest,
Yeah.
all that jazz. To both of us, what is the biggest accomplishment you're most proud of?
Good question.
It's the last one.
I don't think that, like, I say it enough, I think, but, like, the fact that we started a business and it's been 4 years.
We're about to make that 5-year mark.
Yeah, it's been 4 years and lots of ups and downs, but definitely, like, I think I should be saying it more often than not, like, to myself, that, like, I'm proud that even happened. And also, like, coming right out of college, that's fucking insane. And, like, again, don't get me wrong, like, there's been periods where it's been real rough, but
That's
just
when
having
people give
that.
up, so
Yeah.
we have not given up.
And also this podcast, I think we've said it before, but, like, we've stuck for 3 years now doing this too. Like, whether people were listening or not, we were like, fuck it, I need to tell somebody my opinion.
I need to be heard.
So I think that just, like, believing in in us enough to, like, create things together that they mean a lot to me, regardless of, like, what the numbers are, I guess.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think it's, like, real hard to be proud of yourself for something that other people maybe make fun of
Or don't value.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest accomplishments, that's both of ours, is the fact that we created an entire branding kit and logos and concept and messaging and colors, everything head to toe, created a brand for someone else, obviously. And that shit's at Nordstrom.
That's fucking wild, honestly.
Like, the logo we made is at Nordstrom. That's just insane to me.
That is a huge accomplishment.
I mean, like, we fumbled the bag.
On how much we should have gone, but
it's still
that's
something
us.
to be said. Like, come on, that's epic. So I
Yeah.
think that's, like, I feel like all of our accomplishments are like, but I'm not that, like, like, it's not that big of a deal. Or, like, oh, I never tell myself that it's cool because it's, like, on the day-to-day. We feel like maybe there's just not as much to show for all of the hard work that we've put into it. So it's very hard to feel proud. But maybe that's what the universe is waiting for us.
Appreciation, gratitude.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, that's it.
That's all the questions. So that's all we have for today. If you want us to do, like, a more in-depth Q&A about ourselves, let us know. But yeah, this episode's been really what's the word?
You say long anticipated or what?
No, like
Well encompassing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, it's been a full circle moment, I think.
right.
Yeah, I think we're both really proud of being at our 100th episode. We put a lot of work and, like, time and effort into planning and thinking about concepts that we think are interesting and other people might want to listen to. So, again, like we always say, if you're enjoying this, please do like, subscribe, give us a rating, give us a follow on our Instagram, and anywhere you're, like, looking at your podcast shit, please just interact with us. Just allow us to know that you're there and you like our stuff.
Share with your friends and family if it's a topic that's relevant to you and them, or if you just think we're stupid and silly. That's fun too.
That's fun too. But for now, thank you again for being here for our 100th episode. We appreciate you and love you. And we'll catch you next week. Also, I think this is like coming out right before Thanksgiving. No,
right before December 1st.
December
This
1st.
is coming out November 30th.
So like, here's to like the Christmas season.
Cheers to the last month of the year. Next episode, I'm definitely gonna be wearing a Christmas sweater.
Purred queen. We'll probably do like another Christmas-esque.
We should do like a Christmas theme. Let us know what you guys want to hear that's Christmas content.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.